Hey there, it's Angie Coley, and today I wanted to talk about something that's going to make us all uncomfortable. Yay! This is about, as we say in the cultural norms, winning and losing. As I like to say, a lot of entrepreneurs that I know like to say, let's shift this idea from either you win or you lose to you win or you learn. Because either way you slice it, if you learn something from everything that happens in your business, from everything that you try and you succeed at, and everything that you try and fail at, you will be able to iterate and improve your way to success eventually by using what you've learned. Now, focusing on winning or losing means that you're shutting down the part of your brain that would be open to doing something differently. You just, this is the way I did it. I lost. There's no point in continuing to try. Like it's a fixed mindset that doesn't allow you any room for growth or improvement. And growth and improvement is the name of the game in business. That's the whole point. You're not going to come right out of the gate knowing exactly what you need to do to succeed. The likelihood that you succeed right out of the gate, incredibly, incredibly small. Some people are very fortunate, but don't count on that being your luck. Count on having to work, having to try some things, having to fail, and then eventually find your way forward. I know my very first attempt at freelance business was, I took every kind of work under the sun. I knew how to write, but I didn't know anything about actually running a business. So it proved to be an incredible challenge for me, and I wound up taking a day job. But what did I learn from that? I took away the fact that I needed to improve my business skills. So I eventually enrolled in coaching so that I could improve those business skills. I learned that I wasn't charging enough to actually support a business. I was charging based on what I thought my hourly rate should be while working a job. And that doesn't take into account all of the hidden expenses that your job usually pays for, including vacation and sick time. I mean, who's going to work for you when you get sick as a freelancer? No one, unless you subcontract, and you have to plan for that with expenses, right? So extra taxes. In the United States, the business, your employer, pays for their half of your Social Security tax and you pay for your half. Well, as a self-employed individual, you have to pay both halves of those in addition to your income tax and all of the other fun stuff. Consult your tax professional, but always put aside money for taxes because you're going to have to pay them now. It doesn't account for, your job would give you probably a workstation. Depending on what you do, maybe a uniform or some other professional supplies. They're paying for if you work on site, which has changed drastically since the start of the pandemic, but usually they would, they're paying for electricity, toilet paper, sometimes snacks, the high-speed internet that you need to use your job to do your job. Point being, there are a bunch of hidden expenses in running a business that the employer, when you're working at a job, is taking on your behalf. These are now expenses that you as an entrepreneur have to take on. I wouldn't have learned that unless I had failed at it and seen firsthand the consequences of underpricing and undervaluing my work and wondering, will people be able to afford me? Don't spend other people's money. That's my tip for you. Don't assume what they can and can't afford. Decide what you need to make. Figure out your own numbers, do your own math, figure out what you need to survive and be profitable, and then go out and find people that can afford that. It's as simple as that. Simple and hard. But back to the main point, I failed. I know many other entrepreneurs that can say the exact same thing, that at some point in the process they failed. They had a big promotion that bombed. They spent a lot of time on creating a new product that ultimately landed with a thud. They landed a big contract with a dream client, and it wound up being more of a nightmare than an actual dream. It's going to happen. So if you consciously adopt this mindset of win or learn, you are going to set yourself up for eventual success. So that's what I have for you today. If you know somebody that needs to hear this today, make sure to share it with them. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and let's go kick some ass.